The Boston Celtics have taken Game 1 in Round 2 versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, a blowout, winning by 25 points. This is actually their fourth time this postseason they have won by 20-plus points. And just a hint, they've only played 6 games in the postseason here so far. We're going to be breaking down what we saw in Game 1 of Round 2, going through some live stats, and really talking about who's been really stepping up here for the Celtics and Kristaps Porzingis' absence. But before we hop into any of that, we had a ton of people joining us on our live stream earlier tonight for the Boston Celtics versus Cavs game, but it doesn't stop there. If you guys want everything to know about the Boston Celtics here on Celtics Today by Chat Sports, it's completely free. All you guys have to do is go on ahead and hit that sub button for me. We gained a handful of subscribers in Game 1. If you guys want to be a part of that community, it is subscriber-only mode. I want you guys to be having some fun with us watching these postseason games. Go on ahead, hit that sub button for me. Our goal is to reach 27,000 subscribers here in this series. Let's talk about the man of the hour. He's been leading the team in scoring. Smitty, we talked about it a little bit in game, but for people who were not on our stream, I want to touch on it just one more time. We found it interesting that Jason Tatum was, of course, ranked in the he was projected to win the NBA Finals MVP, of course, if they get there. He had the best odds. However, while Tatum is technically the best player on this roster, JB, playoff Jaylen Brown has been doing wonders offensively and specifically scoring the basket.
Absolutely. Jaylen Brown scored from all 3 levels tonight, beyond the arc, mid-range, at the basket. He was basically able to dissect any matchup he had one-on-one from Cleveland. So this was a Jaylen Brown game. You guys see it, 12 of 18 from the field. Uber efficient. He had his stroke going all night, and that it just gives a huge boost for the Celtics when a guy like Jason Tatum has not really had a successful postseason so far, shooting, scoring the basketball efficiently. So much help comes from Jaylen Brown in these scenarios, and you get him going early, that sets the tone for the rest of his game. Obviously, Jason Tatum can never find that groove tonight.
And I do want to give credit here to Jaylen Brown, who I do think was commanding this offense as well. He was really setting up most of the plays here. He just had that certain type of aggression on him. But I also want to give a little bit of credit here to Jason Tatum. While his points didn't match up with a 30-piece, he had yet another double-double in this postseason. I don't know exactly how many he's had. I believe this is probably his 4th that he's had so far in this postseason. Yeah. It's got to be around that number there. But the one thing I saw here from Tatum is that while he wasn't the primary scorer for the Celtics, and that's okay, he doesn't have to be anymore because of players like Brown, White, and Holiday.
I'd still like him to be, though.
100%, and I do need to see that dog. There does need to be that level of attitude that needs to come with him scoring this basket. I'm kind of tired of the whole, I don't score in the first quarter, I let everybody else score. That I'm getting a little bit tired of because I do see that in the first quarter of most of these games, but I will give him credit where credit's due. His court vision was on one tonight. Yeah. The way he was dishing out that rack, the way he was dishing out that pass, I mean, it was like he had a third eye in the back of his head. He was setting up a lot of players to be successful here on the Celtics offense.
And the double teams that he faced, the triple teams that he faced against Miami have set him up for this situation. Basically, his first move now is to draw multiple defenders and then kick it to an open shooter on the wing or in the corner. So it's working for the Celtics, but I do anticipate that in some scenarios, especially down the line of this postseason, listen, we think we're going to get past the Cavs, right? We think it's going to be a favorable matchup for us. But down the line against a better defensive team like the Knicks or an even better defensive team like the Minnesota Timberwolves, role players might go cold some nights, and Jason Tatum is going to have to be the dog that the Celtics need him to be as their best player, their best offensive player, their best just pure scorer of the basketball. Yes, he's asked to be the primary playmaker. Yes, he's asked to be the primary on-ball defender. And he's fantastic at both of those things. But he's also one of the NBA's most elite scorers. I think he needs to be able to find his stroke soon. He's in a funk right now. Hopefully he can pick things up the rest of this series. I needed to start this series because I can't have him going in to a Knicks Eastern Conference Finals in a funk like he is, shooting 7 of 19 in multiple playoff games. I can't have it.
No, I agree with you there, but there are a lot of good things that did happen here tonight. We're going to talk about that a little bit more after this question, but I got to ask you guys here what's been on my mind and Smitty's mind primarily in this postseason so far is, will Jason Tatum elevate his shooting this series. It's been a JB show on offense. Derrick White is also popping off
We'll
for
talk
the
about
postseason.
D-White, that's for sure.
And I am totally fine with having those two players do what they need to do when it comes to scoring. But I am looking for that from Jason Tatum as well, because if they make that a triple threat, they'll take anybody. But go ahead and comment, type Y for yes, type N for no down below. We're going to break down Derrick White's postseason play here in just a moment. But I got to tell you guys about Prize Picks. I am through the roof with Prize Picks right now because your girl just won $100. And I also won over 15 entries playing Prize Picks right now. And I bet you're wondering, Allie, what the hell are you even talking about? I'm talking about the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America. If you guys want to play along with me, all you have to do is pick between 2 to 6 players and just pick more or less on a player's projected stats. And that's how you can win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. The reason why I love playing Prize Picks is because it's super easy. This entry, I put in $20 to win 100, and I won all of this. Derrick White had 25 points. Jason Tatum had a dunk, and Donovan Mitchell had a 30-piece, and I loved this prize pick because it took me less than 60 seconds to make, and boom, instant money, instant winning, instant happiness. So if you guys want to play Prize Picks, I highly suggest going to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that promo code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy with quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types. That's why I love playing Prize Picks. You want to know what else I love right now? I love bald Derrick White.
Who was on your Prize Picks?
It was on my Prize Picks. They gave me a discount on him, and obviously I'm going to take it because this guy has been going nutty. I know you've heard of Playoff Jimmy. I know you've heard Playoff Tatum, which he said over and over again, it's not a thing, but what Derrick White is doing. Yes, it happens to be in the postseason, but we have seen this level of dog the entire year. Even in the postgame, Jaylen Brown just said, after Stephanie Reddy asked him, what do you think about postseason Derrick White? And Jaylen Brown, simple answer, said, for those who don't know who Derrick White is, get used to him. He's been doing this all year long, Smitty. 25 points. He is stepping up huge for the lack of Kristaps Porzingis points.
Absolutely, and the fact that the Celtics have so many 3-level scorers just really makes this team so dangerous in the postseason. Derrick White being one of them. He's hitting pull-up jumpers. He's getting to his spot. He's hitting catch and shoots. It's unbelievable what Derrick White is able to do as far as elevating his offensive game, and people are only starting to realize the impact that he makes when he's putting up 25 points, when he's putting up 30, when he's putting up 38 points in a ball game. People are only recognizing Derrick White when he has these massive stat lines, except he's clearly one of the best on-ball defenders at the guard position in the NBA. He's an excellent interior defender as well. He can match up with players 5-6 inches taller than him and contest their shots, as well as match up one-on-one, face up with a guard like Donovan Mitchell tonight, who, yes, had a great game, but Derrick White was able to offset that with his 25 points. He's been fantastic. It was apparent in the Heat series, and it's apparent now that Derrick White is going to definitively be the third scoring option on this basketball team. And if Jason Tatum is not playing as efficiently as we know he can, I think Derrick White is more than serviceable to take that leap and to take that responsibility on the offensive end. I love what I've seen from White.
I think what's also really fun is that I've never seen an ISO with Derrick White that I'm like, that's a mismatch. Derrick White can take on pretty much anybody. Of course, they're going to be bigger players than him, taller players than him, but the fact that Derrick White does lead the NBA in blocks for players under 6'4", 6'6",
6'5",
6'5", Derrick White knows how to defend anybody despite their size. So whenever he's down low and he's by himself, I normally will get frustrated with anybody else. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I like that. That's going to be bad. Derrick White holds his own, man, on defense and on offense.
So does Drew Holiday, especially in the defensive end. The job that they did.
We don't deserve him.
The job that they did in the backcourt of Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell tonight was purely fantastic. I loved what I saw to those guys. Yes, Donovan Mitchell, he's clearly the best scorer on this roster.
Right.
He is going to get his 30. He's going to get his 25-plus every
inevitable.
single game this series. It's a given, okay? He's going to get to his spot.
Yep.
48%, 36 from 3. This is like as average to above average of a Donovan Mitchell game as you can get, and especially in the postseason. If he's getting 33 and they're still losing by 25, that is a legitimate problem. a legitimate problem because you got a guy like Darius Garland who's shooting 40% from the field, 25 from three. The backcourt as a whole, I'm okay with holding them to 44% shooting combined and 32% from three. You're not going to beat the Celtics that way. Your best players have to step up if you're Cleveland, and the Celtics defended them at a very high level tonight. I loved what I saw out of the Celtics backcourt. They did their job. Evan Mobley, 17, 13. I
want to point out something here that
nobody got killed tonight.
I do think made a huge difference in kind of shutting down Donovan Mitchell. And yes, you're going to see shutting him down. He got 33 points, but like Smitty just said, that's just what Mitchell does. That's why he is one of the greater guards here in the NBA. But the one thing that I loved about Jrue Holiday that I didn't love against Miami Heat is how many times he got smoked by the screen that was set up for Tyler Hero to have a sidestep three. He was avoiding the screen every single time that Evan Mobley tried to set for Donovan Mitchell to have an easy open three. Jrue Holiday was deflecting it like nobody's business. And Donovan Mitchell is not going to be able to be as great as he is because he does not have that separation around the three-point line. That's just something that's not going to be on the box score. And I saw that multiple times tonight where I'm like, Jrue Holiday, he had a tough time doing that. That's why Hero got hot when he did in Game 2. But the fact that he adjusted was great. And speaking of adjustments, no Kristaps Porzingis means Al Horford cannot play the entire full game here. Luke Cornett, you're doing fantastic. Not to mention he had 2-3 blocks here tonight. He was locking down the paint. Several Cavaliers could not get anything going unless it was around the three-point line.
Yeah, a couple more.
They got some quick drives to the lane, but around the paint, around the post, it was kind of locked up, Smitty.
I agree. Luke Cornett was fantastic on the interior tonight. You don't see him as an elite rebounder, even though he's 7'3". But 10 boards tonight, you can't deny it. He played more physical, maybe, brand of basketball than I've seen Luke Cornett play in a long time this postseason. He's been serviceable. He's been reliable in the absence of Kristaps Porzingis. So I love what I've seen from Luke Cornett. A couple other Celtics that balled out tonight. Peyton Pritchard, when he was called upon, he hit. When he was wide open, he did his job. Shoot the three-point ball at an efficient clip. 40%.
Love it.
I love it from Peyton Pritchard.
16 points off the bench is awesome. It's incredible.
If you get that, there's not many teams that are going to beat you, especially with the level of defense that Boston plays.
Now, we don't get that level every game from Pritchard, but when it does happen, it does truly make a difference, especially when you look at the team stats here, Smitty. I mean, 22 assists, 60 boards. When the team shoots well from the three, the Celtics win.
Is a ton. Yeah, 60 rebounds is a ton. 40% from the three-point line. How are you going to beat this team when this is the case? Yeah, I'm not loving 22 assists to 45 made field goals, but when the Celtics are that talented and they're feeling their shot, anything's possible as far as them scoring the basketball. I trust a ton of them in isolation situations. It's great when it works out, but there are going to be games where it doesn't work out, and the Celtics are going to have to defer to running sets, getting guys open, and drawing in defenders, getting more shots on the inside, and moving the ball around just a little bit more. I need Boston to understand that this is not going to be the case every single game.
No. We saw that with Miami as well. Miami took Game 2 when we weren't expecting it, but you got to look at here. They really locked down Evan Mobley in the paint. Jared Allen has missed the last 4 games with a rib contusion. We don't have Kristaps Porzingis, so I know both teams are missing huge pieces. Not to mention the Cavs are missing even more pieces with Dean Wade. And at any moment, as far as we know, those players could also make a comeback. So the Boston Celtics have to stay focused. They have to stay ready. And I really do trust Joe Mazzulla ball happening right now. So with that being said, for Smitty and I, what do the Celtics need to improve on in Game 2? Was there something you saw in Game 1 you weren't really loving, you want them to work on, Smith?
In my opinion, not necessarily that they did a terrible job on Donovan Mitchell. He got a lot of easy baskets where potential offensive rebounds, lapses in defense and whatnot. I don't think they did a bad job on when the Cavaliers had a half-court set on defending Donovan Mitchell too bad. He made a lot of tough shots as well. But in the minutes where Donovan Mitchell was off the floor for these Cleveland Cavaliers, they looked lost. If you can limit Donovan Mitchell to under 30 points, there's no game this series, unless they shoot an ungodly percentage from three, which I don't anticipate Cleveland doing, you will win this series handily. Donovan Mitchell is the engine that makes this offense go. If you can limit him, there were possessions out there today where the Cleveland looked like they were playing basketball together for the first time without Donovan Mitchell on the floor. You limit him just a little bit better than you did today, you're going to have even better results that you had today without even shooting the basketball as well as Boston did in Game 1.
Go ahead and comment that down below. While you guys are at it, we will be live on Thursday for Game 2 versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, still at TD Garden. We don't want you guys to miss it. So we are subscriber-only mode. Be sure to hit that sub button for me.